Hello, thanks for joining me on the Bourbon Journey 2021. Tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different from what you're used to seeing me do. As you can see, I have two bottles in front of me tonight. The first one is Cedar Ridge Fruit Brandy, 40% alcohol by volume, which means it's 80 proof. And this one is a blend of apple, pear, and grape brandy. This is distilled and bottled by Cedar Ridge Distillery, Swisher, Iowa. And on my right, I have Cedar Ridge Wheat Whiskey. This is made with 100% white winter wheat, 43% alcohol by volume, 86 proof. And it is also distilled and bottled by Cedar Ridge Distillery in Swisher, Iowa. Now, I've been told that both of these are good on their own merits, but just in case I have any desire to do any blending of any kind between these two, since they are close relatives from the same distillery, they're actually, one is derived purely from fruits, the other one is derived purely from wheat. Now, the thing that those two things will have in common is we should have some similar sweet characteristics. Obviously, the brandy would be expected to be much sweeter, but wheat whiskey by nature is typically sweeter. The difference being here is this having a 100% wheat mash bill. I've never had anything with a 100% wheat mash bill. So we'll see how we like it. First thing I'm going to do, you'll notice I have a couple of ramekins here. I have my clean jigger, as I call it, and I'm going to use each of the two halves separately from each other. So I've got a separate ramekin, that way I don't cross-contaminate between the two as I do what I'm going to do tonight. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take roughly about an ounce of each, and I'm going to pour them into my Spirits and Things twin Glencairn glasses I have here in front of me. Then we're going to give them a few minutes to breathe, and we're going to try each of them and see what I think. Now, I also have a pipette, this little doodad, so that if I feel like I want to try, let's say I want to try the wheat whiskey with the slightest bit of the fruit brandy added, because there are some concoctions out there that are sold as blended that way with brandy mixed in, well, I can choose a little at a time to see if there's a sweet spot for that I enjoy more than the other. And again, we're not going to get carried away because this is to enjoy. Just about an ounce of each. All right, there we have about an ounce of each. Let's give them about 15 minutes to breathe. Okay, so our Cedar Ridge Fruit Brandy and our Cedar Ridge Wheat Whiskey have had about 15 minutes to breathe. Let's see what we think of the fruit brandy. Now, I will warn you, I've never had brandy before. I have no idea what I think of brandy, but we're going to find out. Oh, the pear jumps right out at you. And you can pick out the grape too. There's a Welch's white grape juice kind of scent going on. That is like alcoholized fruit juice. It is sweet, but not syrupy sweet. It's light. It doesn't have a long lingering finish like whiskeys do sometimes. And the finish continues to be fruit. It's fruit in the beginning, fruit in the middle, fruit on the end, zero heat. I can tell you I am a fan of this fruit brandy. Now for the Cedar Ridge wheat whiskey. Oh man, that smells like a freshly opened box, a brand new box of Wheaties. That real strong wheat grain scent you get when you open that box for the first time. Yeah, that's just wheat all day. There's really nothing complex about the nose on this one at all. It's very simple. It doesn't have much heat on the nose either. But again, it's only 86 proof. As I expected, very sweet for a whiskey. Not like artificially sweet. Sweet from the grain. Sweet wheat. This doesn't carry an age statement, but you can tell there's not much of an oak undertone to it. There is a little bit of a wood undertone, but it's not strong oak like you get with older age whiskey. So you can tell this isn't aged very long. But it's very smooth. There's not any heat on the front or the back or in the middle. It's not complex in the palate, but it tastes good and it's an easy drinker. I think we have a winner and a winner. Now let's see what we get when we combine the two. Don't ever be afraid to try new things, folks. Somebody had to try new things to figure out that you could distill fruits, grains, and that you could brew things and cook things and eat things. Remember, all of those things had somebody in the beginning that did it the first time. Don't be afraid to try new things. As you saw, I just mixed slightly unequal parts. I drank a little more of the brandy than I did of the wheat. So there's a little more brandy in it than, or a little less brandy in it than the wheat is, but we're going to see what we get. That smells exactly like Elijah Craig small batch. That's incredible. The nose is exactly like Elijah Craig small batch. Okay, so that is not a win. It does not taste like Elijah Craig small batch. The truth is that the combination of these two gets pretty medicine-y flavored. Not a fan. Thanks for joining me tonight on the Bourbon Journey 2021. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. Give it a thumbs up. If you feel like somebody else would enjoy this, share it. I'm happy to have new friends come along for the journey. And if you'd like to see what I do next time, which might be a little crazy, don't forget to subscribe. Again, thanks for joining me on the Bourbon Journey 2021. Stay safe. Sometimes you make a drinker, sometimes you make a stinker. But try new things.